Hey everyone, it's the Emerald Trickshot here, or the Emerald Lad, and today we're going to be doing just a quick follow-up video to my initial video of breaking down the units. We're going to be talking about the banner because it just dropped in maintenance and in the patch notes, and we're going to be talking about if you should summon on the collab. As you can see, Global is currently in maintenance. It's going to be maintenance till midnight, or like for another couple hours, for about 2.5 hours from when this recording. Do note that this could easily just change because Global is a mess. So yeah, let's quickly go into, we'll come back to this in a second. We'll quickly talk about the collab pickup draw and if you should summon or not. So I played, I actually recorded this video once, but my mic was cringe, so I'm re-recording it. So quickly replay these ultimates here. I won't go in deep detail of the units because I did that in my last video, but I will talk about the banner, like what the units, like generally like the units priority and what you should get for. I have a tier list here to show which one's better than not, and then I'll quickly give my verdict if you should summon or not. So there's Ain's ultimate, pretty cool I guess, and this is the character. If you wish to not watch my last video and want to read this here for yourself, you can pause here and read that on your own time. Here's Overlord ultimate. I will say one thing. In my last video, I did say I was a bit confused on the ultimate because I thought it was a different version from Green Sariel's, but it was just that the effect is differently named in JP than in Global, because of course it is. So this ultimate is just Green Sariel's ultimate, but instead of just this, it also gives crit chance crit damage, which is pretty good. Again, if you want to pause here and read this for yourself, be my guess. I was just watching the last video because I do also go into detail the Holy Relic in that video. So yeah. Here's Shaltiers. I'll also go briefly into Calcutus because I wasn't able to talk about him because he wasn't in the database when I made the video. So I'll just make a quick overview of the character, but he's not too special if you ask me. He's PvE, but he's nowhere as good as Kizna. So yeah. Here's Shaltier. You can read this pause video, read this on right here. Here's the effect thing. And here's Calcutus. So while this is going, I will say, I'll read the pattern. This is something I wasn't able to read because it wasn't on the database. So in PvE, excluding Demonic Beast Battle, because of course it is, he removes all debuffs from allies when the hero uses a skill and inflicts damage. You have to make sure you actually do damage with the card, and increase ally HP by 8% for every debuff removed for 2 turns. So let's say like he has 2 debuffs, and then like another ally has like 3. He'll remove all of them, and then he'll apply 5 HP increase, which is really good. So he has Amplify card, Detonate card, and his ultimate just this is that. His Holy Relic, I talked about in the last video, but it basically just increases all ally stats by 10% whenever he just uses a skill, doesn't have to land. Alright, now we're going to the banner. Here's the banner. Like all collab banners, it's not the greatest, but it's honestly not the worst thing we've gotten. Mainly reason is because there's actually characters on here that either, like, these two have not shown up, like, almost at all, really. And probably you skipped for good reason, because Camilla was guild boss only, and Lucio was, like, an option. But, like, not like, he was, like, he released at, like, the weirdest time, and it wasn't great. It still isn't great, to be honest. So you can pick these guys up if you missed them, which is nice. Coin shop units, they suck. Bad, replaced. Decent links, but they're in GSS, they're in standard the normal SSR tickets, so I feel like you should have at least one of these guys by now if you've been playing for a while. Nashi, who is still a go-to unit with his Holy Relic, goddamn. And 600 banner, if you understand how these work, you understand how these works. 300 random SSR between all these guys. 600, you get one of the 4 you get to pick, which is good. And then there's a GSSR collab ticket, which guarantees you one of the 4. You don't know which one though, it's random. Thank you. So that's it for the characters, just like their ultimates, what they just like a very skim through the banner. So let's quickly go into my priority of which units you should be going for if you summon. So Albedo is number 1. Like, you want to get Albedo, and she's like the easiest to deal with. You don't need copies for her. You just need one copy and you're done. Because she doesn't rely on dupes unlike a certain other character, which we'll get into a little bit. And she's like really strong as a character, stupidly broken. I don't know why they made her like this, but yeah. You should try going for her first because she's the best out of the 4. Shaltir is next. It's still good, but much more inconsistent than Albedo is, because she requires bleed and requires the enemy to like hit her at least twice if you use a card with her on your turn, which isn't great, right? It's not a lot. It's like, you know, because if you're running Albedo, like if the enemy's running Albedo, they can just stance and then move a card twice, and then bam, you just got no stab from that. Because it has to happen on your next turn, like at the start of your next turn, which instead of like Purgatory and Meliodas, where it's like the moment they go away, bam, you have the attack bonus and then you can go in, which is cringe if you ask me. But still a good unit nevertheless. Ainz, I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of eh. Like, you would only ever use this guy in PvP if you have him 6/6, because the damage decrease that his Death Brand effect applies goes up with ult level, right? So instead of 2% for each one at 1 to 3/6, at max at 6/6, it's 7% for each skull, which is 20% compared to 8% for each enemy, which is massive, right? Like 20% damage decrease on enemy versus 8% damage decrease on enemy is a big deal, right? Even 5% is still a bit low. It's like 20%, which is not bad, but not you want that extra 8% is pretty big. So yeah, I would say you should only be going for Ainz either if you really love the character or you plan on 6/6ing him, right? Go for Albedo first. I say if you get Albedo, then I would say try to go for Ainz dupes. Maybe one copy of Shaltir. You only one copy of these two. You want him 6/6, and Confuse is free. He doesn't need dupes, so it doesn't matter, right? This is a general overview. Now, if I say if you should summon or not, honestly, if this was like shield hero, like if Confuse was a better unit, if Ainz wasn't as like mediocre as he was, and Shaltir was more consistent, I would say this is a must summon, right? Even if this bad banner, if all 4 units were great, I think it would have been worth it. But considering only 1/2 units are like easily runnable, I would probably have to say, unless you're a really big fan of Overlord, maybe wait to see what JP gets, right? Like what the Lex lead up is, because as it stands, it's not looking too great, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't if you want to summon for the characters, be my guest, right? Like don't just because I say, oh, it's not the greatest summon doesn't mean you shouldn't. Like if you don't want it, if you want to, be my guest, I will not stop you, right? If you love these characters, hey man, do that. I summon for the catastrophes, even though like they're so mediocre, right? But I do think you should wait, see what JP gets after this collab ends, because if the next character like makes Ainz more usable, then yeah, then it becomes 3 of the units that you can go for, and then it becomes much more like of war. But with how like meh the banner is, and like how like this guy is free, he's not great without 6/6, and like she's a bit inconsistent, it really like lowers your like standards, right? But yeah, that is just my interpretation, and that's my opinion. If you do decide to summon, I hope you the best of luck. And if you decide to save, hopefully the unit whatever you're saving for is worth the time. End of year is fastly approaching, and that's gonna be a Meliodas. It's been a Meliodas every single year, and I don't think it'll change it now, because there's one more Meliodas they have before they get into Hornets of Apocalypse, and that'll be definitely something. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.